Okay, so last time we discussed about, I think, the DSA, the first part that we should be covering. This is for the system design. So system design also have a two part, like if you haven't seen the first wala video, you should see that. So system design has two part, like high level and low level. Here we are covering high level components. How should you should prepare of. It gonna take around like 2 to 3 months if you prepare it well. And this goes parallelly with DS. It's not like you give 2 months to DS, 3 months to DS, and then come to system design. No, it shouldn't work like that. Should be like 2 3 questions a day of a DSA and one question of a system design. I think I told you the major minor approach in the first video. Like major, you should like every week you should have a major and minor. Once one topic you choose as a major, like 80% you should prepare that. 20% should be your minor, could be anything. So 1 week your major could be databases or data structures. Another week your major could be system design, and that major you can club with maybe any little bit topic like a language or something, right? So system design is our basically high level. System design is our third topic in the series. I mean, second topic. First one was the data structure. Before coming to this preparation, you should little bit aware of first is your databases, because designing a system requires a lot of knowledge of databases. So I think I gave you the example of Flipkart, right? Suppose you need to design a Flipkart and there's a like product page of Flipkart. So image can go to a blob storage, that is also a database, but a different kind of database. The description of a product, maybe for a mobile phone, the description, the key values are different. For a pen, it could be different, right? So then it could be a key value database, right? It's again like a NoSQL database, but a different type of NoSQL database. So your description will go there. The user details can be like specific fields like name, email, gender, maybe date of birth, maybe phone number. Those things can go to a SQL or a relational database because we have a fixed number of fixed structure data. So there could be like n number of database based on your use case you can use inside a system. So you should have a knowledge of databases, plus you should have a knowledge of cloud as well. I mean, this two topic we gonna cover in a separate point in a separate video, but maybe you can do a reverse order, first see that database wala and then come to here. Cloud system is basically when you design a system, right? You are telling like I will use a cache here. So if like your interviewer is like AWS driven, he or she has worked on AWS in their past companies or project, they are aware. If you give the name of that cloud cache service like Elastic Cache, they they know like you know cloud. That it's simple as that. So you should be aware, like once you tell I will spin up this particular VM, and if you can tell them like it could be a EC2 or ECS in this sense, it's a different knowledge game. So you should be aware of cloud system as well. Okay, how to approach this system design preparation? First is basics. Basics, what are the basics? I mean, you should be aware of what is a load balancer, right? What is a API gateway? What is a CDN? What is a microservice? Those basic things you should be aware of. Maybe scaling. These are very basic topic like vertical or horizontal. When to choose what. Then it comes to your monolith application. It's all trade-off. There is no right and wrong. It's all trade-off how you design your system. So this is all basic terminologies you should be covering. It's not actually just this. There are so many things, but I'm just giving you some top topics that you should be covering. Maybe I can suggest you some books or something. Just DM me for resources. I'm not putting resources in these videos. I can't do everything on those videos. For resources, you can comment or DM me, or maybe anything you can contact me. So those things you should be obviously covering. If you are like already into system design, you are given some interviews, you already prepared, then these are very new to you. I mean, very basic to you. You should ignore that part. If not, then you can cover that. It hardly take like 2-3 weeks or 2 weeks maybe. Second thing, to approach a problem is again from a basic. Now you know the tools. You have the tools, like you have databases, you have a VM, you know the how you can design a service, what is a client, what is a server, what is a API gateway. All those things you are aware. Here also it comes your communication protocol like API or queue. You should be aware of like how to call different services, whether it could be a REST, it could be via messaging queue like a Kafka or something. So those also is required here. Now you should be aware what is the functional and non-functional requirements for a given question. So basically, if they tell you like maybe design, for example, given a problem like design Instagram, so functional requirement will be your maybe user can follow other users. This is one of the functionality that you need to cover in your design. So this is a functional requirement. So at start of the interview, like first 5 to 6 minutes, you should be asking this question to your interviewer: what are the functional requirements? Maybe they're already given to you, but if not, you should be asking. Second, it could be like user can upload photos, like photos, comment on. There is also a functional requirement. What is a non-functional requirement? System should be highly available. I mean, once if one of the service goes down, another should take up the load. It shouldn't be a case like client see that server is down. Just you see in different websites. Maybe low latency. If you clicked on any user profile, like the latency should be low. So those are, I'm not going to too much detail, but those are the non-functional requirements you should be covering off into this particular preparation of system design high level. Third topic is your entities. So basically, once you know system design tools, you know functional, non-functional requirement. Now you should know the entities. For example, let's suppose talking about Flipkart. So user is one of the entity. I mean, entities can be linked to your database tables as well. Like in your whole design, what are the top entities that you should be covering up? Product can be one of the entity. Order can be one of the entity. Right? Payment can be one of the entities. So these are the entities based on your seller can be one of the entity. So based on the use case given to you, you should be able to define the entities. Fourth is your maybe API or maybe calling mechanism, like how you, or maybe communication. If it is like a Kafka based or queuing mechanism, event based design, then you should be using Kafka. What should the payload and all those things. If it is an API, suppose I told you here Flipkart case, right? So there could be API for maybe sign up. There could be API for maybe login, right? Those kind of stuff. Maybe there could be an API of buy a product, right? There could be a number of different things. The details of how you write an API, that is the low level design. It's not high level design. I mean, all those entities, the signature, all those things are a low level design. For high level, you should be aware of the endpoint, what's the request object it's gonna take, what could be the response object. That's all. Fifth is how you design the system. That's actually like what architecture you are using. Are you using a client service architecture? If it is like client, there will be calling one of the server. Before calling that server, if like the load is huge and there are multiple instances of that server is running, then maybe the load balancer is there. So client gonna hit the load balancer. Maybe API gateway is there. API gateway has its own load balancer. These are all the terms that you should preparing of. So here you can actually take some 20 to 30 questions that you should be covering into this whole scenarios or different types. So once you take like 20 to 30 question, you should be able to tell, like, for example, designing Instagram can be using of microservices. Designing WhatsApp, it's like a chat application, right? So there is a different level of like socket programming or what you're gonna use there. So it's a different maybe protocol. Maybe designing a news system or something like that. You need a event based system, maybe Kafka or something, right? Designing something like a dashboard where you can see the live score of a cricket match, right? That could be a different type of system. So once you cover like 30 questions of every type, maybe designing a Google Maps, it's like whole different type of database, geospatial data types, and the latitudes, longitudes, those are there. Once you cover 30 questions of every type, like five questions of each type, then on the 30th question you will be able to tell, like, I gonna use this thing. So that 20 to 30 question practice is required here. So before, I told you before coming to the fifth point, because this design, you can't do it right away if you're not having the knowledge of designing the systems previously. If you've done those kind of work in your, companies or your current project, it's good. You have the visibility. If not, then you should be preparing, I think, 30 questions minimum here in system design. Maybe one question a day. 30 questions, how it should will look like design Instagram shopping management, or maybe e-commerce is a good name, maybe ticket booking, maps, Uber, maybe your WhatsApp, Twitter. There can be n number of different questions, but the pattern is same. Like designing Instagram and Twitter would be little bit same pattern. Designing WhatsApp, and maybe if someone tell you to design maybe Telegram, it could be a similar pattern, right? So maps and Uber will have some contradiction, like how you give the path and all those things. So this type of question you should be preparing around 30 questions. Once you're done with that 30 question, you should able to do that part. If you need a client, if you need a server, if you need an event based structure, or if you need a API based, you need a microservice, or you need a monolith application. What are the trade-off of using microservice? What are the trade-off of using monolith? What is actually what type of database you gonna use it? Whether you gonna use SQL, whether you use NoSQL, whether you gonna use cache or not. These are all the trade-offs that only practice will make you perfect. Then after that, like you have designed the system, then you cross-check with your functional and non-functional requirement. So now you have written like functional requirement, non-functional requirement. These I want in your second point, and 6 points. Once you are done designing your system, you can again cross check, go back to your maybe functional requirements, all the points are getting covered. Go back to your non-functional requirements, all the points are getting covered. Go back to your API design, maybe whatever the APIs you have written are covered in your design. Once that is done, then maybe interviewer can maybe add some more points, like add this as well, some edge cases, like if this is the event, how your system will carry on. If like scale is went from this to this, then how you can scale your system. If database some new schema gonna come, how you gonna define your databases. Those can be, and different type of questions can be coming here. But if you follow this pattern, plus if you practice like 30 questions minimum, then I think you should be good. This gonna take you around 3 months if you are very naive. If you are already experienced, then 2 months are enough. uh, in a week, if you do like 2-3 questions, should be enough. Oh, yeah. If you have any doubts here or I missed anything, because I haven't prepared for anything, whatever the knowledge I have, just wrote it here. If you think I missed anything, just write in the comment. I will do that. If you think you want some resources, write in the comment section. I can personally, I mean, suggest you. If you think for next video to include some more details or maybe other way, you just comment.